You clicked this video to understand how dark psychology forces money to change hands. I will show you that, and I will show you how to completely rewire a buyer's reality so they beg you to take it. Society tells you that wealth is the logical reward for providing excellent value, working tirelessly, and waiting for the market to bless your moral goodness. That idea is a pacifier designed to keep the working class docile. Money is never earned through fairness. It is extracted through leverage. It moves rapidly from the hands of the emotionally reactive to the accounts of the mathematically cold. There is a hidden, ruthless architecture to high-stakes transactions, a Machiavellian framework used by apex predators in boardrooms and sales floors that bypasses the logical brain entirely. Once you flip this specific psychological switch, your income will no longer be tied to your effort. It will be tied to your ability to bend human instinct. Phase 1, the law of asymmetrical debt. Most people approach a negotiation or a sale by trying to prove their worth. They pitch their features. They exhaust themselves explaining why their product is superior. They act like peasants bringing offerings to a king, hoping for a coin in return. The Machiavellian does not sell a product. He sells a debt. You have been conditioned to view a transaction as an equal exchange, money for a service. But human psychology does not operate on equality. It operates on the unbearable weight of obligation. Look at the underlying mechanics of Robert Cialdini's concept of reciprocity. The mainstream interpretation is to give something small for free to make the customer feel warm toward you. A free trial, a complimentary PDF, a small bonus to build goodwill. That is the sanitized beginner version of reciprocity. It is polite, it is predictable. And because it is predictable, it is weak. The darker application of reciprocity is different. It is about creating an asymmetrical emotional debt, a favor so unusual that the recipient struggles to categorize or repay it. You offer a concession, a piece of restricted insider information, or a perceived personal sacrifice that costs you nothing but feels monumental to them. Study the narrative tactics used by aggressive brokers in the 1990s, especially the infamous Stratton-Oakmont method. They did not begin by pitching the fundamentals of a stock. They pitched the exclusivity of their own risk and the illusion that they were doing the client a rare favor. They would lower their voice and say something like, "I shouldn't be giving you this allocation. My firm reserves this for institutional money. I'm sticking my neck on the chopping block for you right now because I see a long-term partner." In that moment, they manufactured a sacrifice. When a human being feels they are receiving a massive unearned favor, a literal biochemical tension begins to build inside them. It becomes deeply uncomfortable. The human mind hates the vulnerability of feeling indebted to a stranger, and people will do almost anything to relieve that pressure. The fastest way to release that tension is to repay the perceived favor. And how do they repay it? By yielding to your request, by signing the contract, by handing over their capital so the emotional balance feels restored. Do not offer free value, offer targeted sacrifices. Give away something that appears costly, but is strategically meaningless to you. If you are negotiating a deal, give away a variable you genuinely do not care about, but frame it as if it cost you dearly. You might say, "I'm stripping away my own margin here. I will have to fight my partners on this, but I'm doing it to get you across the line." In that moment, you have anchored a psychological hook directly into their conscience. They are no longer buying a service. They are buying their way out of the guilt you quietly installed. They are paying a ransom to restore their own emotional equilibrium and remove the discomfort of being indebted. But what happens when the prospect is perfectly rational, obsessed with spreadsheets and numbers? You do not try to beat the spreadsheet. You bypass it entirely and go directly for the ego. Is this starting to unnerve you? Good. The truth about power and influence is rarely polite. Phase 2, the manufactured chasm, the mercy squeeze. We now move to one of the most devastating psychological maneuvers in wealth extraction. This is the technique that separates million-dollar operators from street hustlers. You cannot sell a life raft to a man sitting comfortably on dry land. The average person waits patiently for a buyer to realize they have a problem. The outlier creates the problem in the buyer's mind, lets the panic crystallize, and then charges a premium for the cure. This is not about lying. It is about framing reality so sharply that the ordinary suddenly feels like an emergency. Niccolò Machiavelli observed a brutal truth about human governance. A prince must make his citizens depend on him during moments of crisis. If there is no crisis, the prince's perceived value drops to zero. In the realm of money, if your prospect feels safe, their wallet remains bolted shut. Safety is the mortal enemy of the transaction. Comfort destroys urgency, and urgency is what moves capital. You must introduce the buyer to a danger they did not know existed, a danger they are already standing in. History offers a brutal lesson in this dynamic through the rise of Cesare Borgia. The ruthless commander he installed, Ramiro de Lorca, was sent to pacify the chaotic region with extreme force. The territory was unstable and lawless. Order was established, but the brutality created fear and hatred among the people. Once stability returned, Borgia made a shocking move. He had his own commander executed and displayed the body publicly. The people celebrated. They believed Borgia had saved them from the very terror he had orchestrated. In financial strategy, the translation is simple. You position the market or their current strategy as the tyrant harming them. You do not rush to sell the solution. Instead, you intensify the pain and make the threat feel immediate and unavoidable. Ask questions that expose the weakness beneath their confidence and force them to confront the risk they have ignored. Ask questions that rip open the weakness in their strategy. Questions that expose what they have ignored for too long. You might ask, how long have you been losing nearly 20% of your operational capital to this inefficiency without your board noticing? Do not offer the solution immediately. That is the mistake amateurs make. Let the silence sit. Let the realization of their vulnerability slowly settle in. Allow them to verbalize their own concern. Let them describe the risk in their own words. When people say the problem out loud themselves, it becomes far more real than anything you could have told them. Let them feel the weight of the market's cruelty pressing down on them. Only when they begin searching for an escape do you present the possibility of a solution. But you do not rush to open the door. You allow them to ask you to open it. In that moment, the dynamic shifts. You are no longer a vendor chasing a sale. You are the person holding the exit. When they finally ask for the solution, you present it calmly, almost reluctantly. You position your offer as the decisive blade that removes the tyrant from their situation. The power dynamic shifts instantly. You are no longer begging for a budget. You are the one pulling them out of the wreckage they just discovered. And saviors do not negotiate on price. Saviors dictate the terms. Phase 3. The illusion of autonomy, inverted coercion. People protect their money not because of logic, but because of a primal need for control. Business educator Robert Kiyosaki often described the difference between how the rich and poor think about money. Many people treat money like a fragile lifeline and guard it defensively. Others treat it like ammunition, something meant to be deployed strategically to gain advantage. When you sit across the table from someone, you are not just discussing numbers. You are confronting their survival instinct. If they feel pushed, they pull back. If they feel sold, they build walls of resistance. The harder you press, the stronger their defenses become. So the strategy changes. You engineer the illusion that they have complete autonomy. Tell someone they must buy your product to survive, and they will analyze every detail of the contract. They will search for the hidden trap, the clause you forgot to mention. But if you casually suggest the opportunity may not be meant for them, their ego begins to react. Now the situation is different. The question is no longer whether they want the product. The question becomes whether they are worthy of it. And that shift in perception is powerful enough to override pure logic. You remove the traditional buyer-seller dynamic. You place the product on a pedestal and stand with the buyer, looking up at it together. This creates the perception that the product is elite, rare, and almost unattainable. You may not qualify for this level of access, you imply. The ego immediately begins to justify why they deserve it. They start pitching themselves, demonstrating why they have the capital, readiness, and skill to earn the privilege. You have inverted coercion. They feel in control, yet they are choosing to hand over their money aggressively. They believe the transaction is their idea, though you meticulously guided every step. But what if the prospect attempts to call your bluff? The one who challenges price or terms. Phase 4, the gaze of inevitability. Here, the person who needs the deal most loses. Desperation is a scent they can detect subconsciously. It destroys high-ticket negotiations faster than any objection. The Machiavellian rule of money. Supreme indifference. You must train your system to remain cold, detached, and unwavering. You must show no excitement when faced with a large pile of cash, a life-changing commission, or a massive portfolio. Any sign of desire makes you pray. If your heart races when the contract is pushed across the table, the client senses it in your micro-expressions and breath. The moment they detect desire, you lose. You become the target, not the master of the negotiation. Internalize the cold mechanical nature of a casino house. The house does not cheer for wins or sweat losses, it simply operates with expectation. When presenting your price, do it matter-of-factly. The capital requirement is $150,000. Then hold unbroken eye contact. Do not flinch. Do not glance at notes. Do not justify the price with a list of features. Justification signals weakness, a subconscious plea for forgiveness. Let the weight of the number sit. Let tension fill the room. Your prospect will squirm, scanning your eyes for cracks in your armor. They will find none. You are a wall of stone. This is what breaks the amateur buyer accustomed to salespeople negotiating against themselves. By holding the line with cold indifference, you communicate a terrifying subconscious message. You do not need their money. They need to earn the privilege to access it. Indifference is the ultimate display of dominance. You have anchored guilt, manufactured crisis, and inverted control. Now mastery depends on external triggers and the prospect's psychological state.